Hey, how's it going? Ezekiel the Barber back with another video for you, haircutting video for you in the cut. So you see me in my little studio here, where we are in the cut and actually in the haircut. So in the cut where I basically break down how I cut each haircut for you guys. So this is my client. This is the haircut that we normally do, which is a high fade. Kind of wave. The top is like a textured or wavy look, sometimes spiky depending on the length. The clipper that I'm using here is the original Andis Masters clipper, so one of my favorite, the corded version. So little anime for you. So once again, that was the haircut that we basically did for this client, but this client is looking to change things up. So the client wants a new look. So as a barber, it is your job to try to get as close to what they want as possible. So we have basically a mullet with a textured top. That's basically what that is. So in the picture, his hair goes forward, but my client's hair goes backwards. So we're definitely gonna have to fix that and change things and start kind of going the right direction. Anytime I get a picture, I try to get as close to that picture as possible. Given the fact that, you know, hair texture is all different and what have you. So here is before the cut. So this is my second cut going into this haircut, this new haircut for this client. So like I explained to him, I just want to basically be able to start it off in the process of what that haircut basically looks like. So it's a mullet, longer back, longer top, and the sides are kind of faded. Kind of sanitized, so I like to use the Andis Cool Care, like the new look. And then I'm also using the Wall 5-Star Senior for this cut. So the lever will always kind of be closed to start, just to kind of get that bald, stubbly look. And that's what he's looking to go for. Now, if he wasn't looking to go so bald, of course, I would not close that lever all the way. Anytime you're looking to give a stubbly or bald look, you're gonna just close that lever up. So that's a closed lever. The more I go up, the more I'll open that lever to set my next guidelines. So always want to protect the ear, pull that to kind of keep it out of the way. Now once I do my fading here at this angle, I'll just simply go to the next guard, which is the 0, the 1, the 2, the 3, what have you. Just literally go in my steps. So as you see me open the lever and go up a little higher, that's basically what's creating that fade. And I'm pretty much going up about a finger's width each time. So you see the angle that I'm using. Now I decided to do a video. This is generally one of those hairstyles that are a little harder to do for most barbers or new barbers. Once you get the hang of it, it generally gets easier. Just like anything else. So, no, I don't plan on talking so much. Just want to show you guys kind of how I cut it. The information is on the bottom. So as you see, I'm using that half guard, also known as a 1/16th guard or a OA. So there's a lot of terms for just the same length, the same guard. Now, as you all get a chance to kind of take this journey with me, those who do follow my channel, you'll get a chance to see how this hairstyle actually grows out. So of course he plans on the back getting a lot longer. We want to see what we can do with the top. Now, the guy in the picture, his top was textured, so a lot different from this client's top, where his hair is a lot thicker. So there's only so much, you know, that we could do to get his hair as close to that picture as possible, but, you know, definitely always up for the challenge. Now here you see me using the number 2 guard. There is a 1.5 guard. Sometimes I'll jump kind of over guards and then come back and get the in-between. So that's basically what I'm doing here. There's so many different ways that you can go about doing a haircut and executing a haircut. That's why I'm just showing you guys my system and my way, how I did this haircut. So that's why you are in the cut. showing you exactly how I did it, whether I went step for step or went over steps, that sort of thing. All right. So my next step here is I like to I know I just use the closed clippers, but a lot of times the closed clippers don't get things as bald as your trimmers, so that's what I'm using are my fabulous trimmers here. So just kind of getting that area where I wanted it or he wanted it kind of bald, a little bit more bald with those trimmers. Now I'm just kind of comparing the haircut, seeing kind of what we need to do. Now, though we are headed, it looks like in the right direction, the hair in the back is a lot longer on the picture than it is for my client. So we obviously still have to grow out that back hair, but I'm just cleaning up the neckline so that the haircut looks clean and everything until that hair grows out and probably will overlap the hair that I'm cleaning up right now. All right, so things are looking okay on this side. I think I just want to kind of go to the next side and see if I can kind of make the same progress. very critical when cutting hair is to whatever system or process you used on one side, you definitely want to use that same system or process on the other side as much as possible. So just want to keep everything looking as even as possible on both sides. So here we're just gonna kind of repeat the steps. Now, the hair on top, his hair is going backwards. So here I'm just explaining to my client that we got to get that hair going the opposite direction. And then it looks like in the picture that there is like texture. So you see that texture, kind of wavy look. So that's kind of what we have to go for. We have to point that hair in the opposite direction and see if we can kind of add a little texture, if possible, to his hair. So we've done one side, we have to do the other side of the fade, and then we have to start working on the top, and then that back is gonna pretty much grow out on its own. So this is pretty much where we're going. So here, just grabbing my water bottle and a comb that has to be strong enough to kind of get that hair going in the right direction. So he has product in his hair, so a lot of times I'll just use water, no big deal, just to kind of loosen up the product. And then we'll get that hair going in the opposite direction. Always want to use water because if they have product like gel, and let's say we're trying to go the opposite direction, you could really, pull the client's hair out. So we're not going for that. Want to use a little water, loosen things up a little bit just to kind of help that hair change directions, switch things up. Alright, so here, once again, just seeing if we can get everything going in the desired direction. Right. Alright, so his hair is really long on top, so per the picture, it definitely isn't that long. Now, the reason why his hair is so long is because he was basically rocking his hairstyle on top to the back, so it had to be long enough to go up and over and form to the back. Now, this hairstyle is going directly forward, so it's not going to be nearly as long. The hair is not really going into his face or dropping down to where his eyes are. In this case, his hair is so long from the last hairstyle that we have to shorten things up, basically. So this is the process, or kind of how I chose to go about cutting it. So we're in the cut, get a chance to see exactly what I did to create this haircut. All right, cool. So for this next step, these are actually thinning shears, also known as texturizing shears. Just looking to add a little bit of texture. In the picture, that was basically a textured style that he had up top. Now this client does have naturally thick hair, so I thought it was basically, would be useful to use the texturizing shears here to kind of get that textured look. Now it's not going to be the same as the picture. His hair has its own DNA, so it's going to, take the way it takes to the texturizing shears. So basically, it's going to have its own textured look based off of these shears, okay? So we're just gonna try to attempt to get as close as we can to that look still add some texture to the cut. All right. And you are in the cut. So in my little shop here, basically you are definitely in the cut in so many different ways. So you get a chance to view how I do the haircuts, get the breakdown of the cuts, listen to some cuts, and once again we are in the cut. So appreciate you guys for stopping through. Please give a share, like, it definitely helps. So I appreciate you guys. If you find anything entertaining, hate it, whatever, appreciate you guys anyway. Open lever, close lever, open lever. So we're just gonna open that lever. We already used the close lever for the balding. So the next transition that our fingers width up with the open lever. So I use the same system even if I went to the 0 guard, the 1 or the 2 guard. So sometimes I'll start open, then I'll go in reverse, go back and close it up and bald the areas down, or sometimes I'll bald and then I'll fade up. So once you get comfortable with cutting, you'll get comfortable using whatever technique you want, basically. So it's just how it goes. So it does take time, hours. quite a bit of ways to kind of go as far as growing the back out. All right, so that's before the cut. So if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I love the Andis Masters clipper, whether it's the corded version or the cordless version. In this case, it's the cordless version. So I like to kind of use this clipper just to basically go over all of my steps. I think that this clipper has probably one of the best blades or systems as far as how your haircut looks when it's done or when it's ran through this clipper in a system. It's just really hard to beat how this haircut makes fades look. So I always like to, no matter what clipper I'm using, I always like to kind of end up finishing or polishing off my haircut using this Andis Masters clipper, whether it's the corded version or the cordless. And it does save me time as far as having to recharge this, because basically using a cordless clipper in a barber shop all day, I mean, you're probably going to have a couple of cordless clippers just to be able to suffice the haircuts. So that's why I still have an appreciation for the corded versions, whether it's the Wall or the Andis or whatever clipper you're using, because you basically have that endless power supply, right? Now there have been cases where guys were cutting in the shop and all the electricity cut off, so the cordless of course came in handy. So I mean, just like, you know, I've seen that happen a few times. So I do have my love and appreciation for cordless just in those, you know, cases, or whenever you're on the road, they seem to be really convenient. You know, it's just kind of how you want to use those clippers basically. So this is how I choose to use it. I love it for all around cut. It can definitely do that, but for the finishing touches, I just chose to use that clipper for this process. So here I decided to add just a little bit more texture to his hair, just to kind of see if I can get things to loosen up and fall forward, kind of like in the picture. So it was still a little stiffer than I like. But usually when I cut, I like to, kind of use a less is more system. The less that I have to do to get to the look, I'll kind of stop there. Just sometimes you can kind of overdo things. So I don't like to, I kind of like to try to hit the mark as much as possible. So I decided to kind of add a little bit more texture, and then kind of fine tune things with the regular shears, as you kind of see here. Now, as you see me using the comb as kind of like a safety precaution between the shears and the client, kind of always creates that barrier of protection from their scalp or injury, things of that nature. So you definitely don't want to do anything like this at home if you're not qualified with shears or what have you. So I certainly take no responsibility for any actions or practices, that goes beyond this film here. So just want to reserve the right to say that. All right, so here with this process is just basically, you see me here fine tuning the haircut. So any hairs that may be out of place, just looking to kind of get those in tune with the haircut, make sure everything's even. I do cut to a look, so I just kind of want to make sure everything looks right. So okay, so this is basically the results that I was able to come up with for this client. The hair going forwards up top, the taper on the sides. The back is still gonna grow out, so it's still gonna take a few cuts. So if you experience this journey with me, you'll get a chance to kind of see this haircut, at its full length, and basically grown out a lot more in the back there. Now the top is pretty close to where we're trying to get to. There'll be some more adjustments. This is basically the second cut in with this new hairstyle. So as a barber, you'll still make adjustments to problem areas that occurred from the last haircut or what have you. All right, so this is basically, once again, what we started with. This is kind of where we are now. So slightly different look. So as a good barber, hairstylist, anyone doing hair, pursuing hair, I would always suggest to kind of try things out to give your clients options. I'll try the direction that they suggest, and then I'll also kind of give suggestions as to other things that they may be able to do that may be suitable to rock. I'll show them different tricks, kind of comb it forward, tricks with the comb, how to flatten certain areas out, pull forward, how to use your blow dryer to add volume. I'll try certain things to see if it does work. Certain things work, certain things don't work. So you won't be able to use everything that you try, and that's a part of that's a part of the industry. You get a chance to check out what works, what doesn't work, different styles, and why the majority of the time barbers use certain styles. There's only so many haircuts that you could really attempt or pull off, in the end. All right, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by, chilling in the cut with me, Ezekiel the Barber. And whatever client I have in my chair today, this case, this young man. So you've seen the hairstyle that we're going for. You see kind of what we're attempting to grow out in the back. So please come back and visit us for kind of the journey of this hairstyle with this client. But as always, once again, thanks for stopping by. Take care.